Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. It's me, Suleiman Ben Sware, coming on Facebook Live. Today is Friday, the 12th of March 2021. The time is just gone 25 minutes past 3. If you just give me a minute, I will share this video before the program starts. You give me a minute. I hope the volume will be okay by then. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I hope you can hear me loud and clear now. Today is Friday, Te Ajumala, the 12th of March 2021. The time just gone 26 minutes past 3 in the afternoon in Birmingham, England. Moke Watan Bite, it's about two very important issues. So xam ne ñu ngi si news headlines yi. And these are existing problems, why there's a reason why they are in the high headlines these days. But obviously, that's what people are talking about. You fixate in the so-called draft constitution or not, but I don't know why we wasting our time on that. The matter was known. It was dead. Anyway and anyhow that we should waste our time on that rather than be proactive, looking at issues that we can deal with and make sure you ample. And since the politics before we should have been talking about the IEC and how election is going to be held. But Luma Buga Wahtai, the program is going to be about an hour. These are two very important issues. Your hamne, it really matters. But unfortunately, this is not raw hamne. Our political leaders, our government, if I say political leaders, it means the opposition and the government and us, society, we are not taking, seriously. And sin problem yep, sin problem yep mungsi beri and lot of mining sin problem is about the leadership because the leaderships are not addressing our problems. And the first one more about the women garden in Gunjur. We all saw videos and we heard the women, our mothers, come out and crying out for help. Because in Gunjur, this woman, New Amsen Garden, that's been going for God knows, generations and generations. It's been there since people started to live in Gunjur. But one day, we have Chinese people and the right to come and start measuring the land to take it off from them. Can you just think of how ridiculous that is? Can you just think of how ridiculous that is? And it's not an outrage. And they're going political leadership and giving that. And this is not new. Last year, from my Facebook memory, last year, it was Joshua Women Garden. The Joshua Women Garden, the Minister of Local Government, moo jël dogland bi jox ko own brother pour mu def fa store a prime location, yes, but agricultural land pour feed this women for xam ne fa la ñoo daje, and they've been taking care of themselves, taking care of their families and dignity and everything. Mu ñoo jël bugg koo jël one day and turn ko to be a store permanently for own brother. That's what it was. And it's been going on. They tried it at Bakau. People to how you stop. But every time and every day they are going wrong. And mostly they are taking prime locations. Your hand either land, your hand either mugiwane for biodiversity, for avoid floods and everything. They don't care. They take it to give it to foreigners, more Chinese, more Indians to put it as store or the fluent. That's the Gambia we have. But we don't have the leaders that will come out and speak. Lanata. None of the political leaders are not talking about this. Are they not ñoom dañ bokk suñu ko def, or they ñoo benefit from the proceeds, or ñoom dañ plan to continue this? And when people wonder, lana tax su dara jotee nit ñi duñ génn, because you don't show them leadership. Leadership buñ war a wone wuñ ko, national leaders buñ war a doon doonuñ ko. Soo gisee Sonko am problem mu yëngal Sénégal yi because Sonko mu ngi position boppam. And he speaks to the Senegalese people, rawatina the youths and women. The marginalized, he speaks for them. And Mota Sugene or Daradal Kumuki, everybody came out. Domi Karim Wada, I'm not a problem. Hardly anybody paid heed. Halifa Salah, I'm not a problem. Hardly anybody paid heed. But with Sonko gisning them am. But let's come back to Gunjur. We start from Gunjur. This problem is not a Gunjur problem. This problem is a national problem. The Chinese at Gunjur, corrupt leaders in Gunjur, local government leaders, the member of parliament, and all the big, Yohane Gunjur decided to take advantage of the privilege they have to do what they want for their personal gains. While law affected Gunjur, affect the whole Gambian nation, affect the future of Gambia, but that's why it's ours. That's one, to make that clear. Now we have seen the effect of Golden Lake. The Chinese presence in Gunjur, not only Gunjur, but the commerciality of all these factories, gis nañ the effect. Now you get to jël mënuñ ko am in the Gambia. Now Gambia you get import Kong from Senegal and Casamance and Guinea-Bissau. Now we cannot even afford to buy these things. Gis nañ suñ géej bi nu mel jën yaa ngi dee because of what lu neex la ñoo def. Chinese yi ñëw fa di jël chemical waste di ko pump suñ géej bi ñu gis ko, jël chemical waste di ko pump suñ bolong bi rivers yi ñu gis ko, jël chemical waste di ko def everything they do lu la neex ñu def, lu la neex ñu def in our own country because of what ñu in charge from local level to national level. They don't care because of ñu am luñ. The corruption is just blatantly there. Ñu leen represent seen interest. Yeah, it starts from the local level. But I'm not going to how. We have seen them being prosecuted. Yes, gis nañ doomi gunjur yu taxaw you prosecute them you to stop the I mean the wastewater going to the sea. Boo xam ne géej boo xam ne ñun ñëpp ko bokka àddina sax ñoo ko bokk. What did we do? Few people ñoo wax. Lan la national leadership noppi ñu yóbbu leen to the process ñu and they could not convict them ñu bàyyi leen. Gis nañ doomi gunjur taxaw a class action jël ko against the Chinese. Lan lañ def mooy the vice president tey bu mu nekkee trade minister and other people ñu dem ne dañoo settle the case out of court. Did that case been settled? No. Chinese yi continue def lu ñoo def. Gis nañ the demonstration so am ne doomi gunjur def nañ ko but who else went there? And a politician and who else went there? Nobody. Nobody cares. Not only Gunjur. Almost everywhere in the Gambia. For Chinese, they do what they want. They them Lamin, Mandinari, them all those places different. Definitely them in forest in the forest in Birkama, Kabafita forest, definitely illegal factories, the political. Who benefits from this? Apart from politicians and the local government authorities, Al Kalulu, Imam, and other people. Ñuy toog di gis Chinese di saaga suñu intelligence mais na ko ñu ne ñuy am gaamo ñuy indi nag bu ndaw at maalo ak diwlin jox ñu. That's the biggest insult and loolu divide the wealth boo xam ne mënoon nañ koo jël mu njëriñ but fu ndaw ñi defuñ anything. This government bu ñëwee ba tey ñu doona luñ doona ba tey defuñ anything pour loo xam ne mënoon nañ koo def. Opportunities ñu fa pour jël resources yooyu mu njëriñ Gambie ba pare ndaw ñi am si liggéey and everybody else need dund bi mel ni mu war a def but not only du ñoo yàq suñ environment not only jën yu ñoo jël suñ mineral suñ resources yu ñoo jël di def lu ne di stent xeet buñ faa def di yàq suñ tourism di yàq everything else. Why? It's beyond me. Bu ma understand why there's no outbreak. But some politicians did it. It's all about either do a state house, wala lu ñoo amee luy jóge state house. That's all. That's all. And you wonder why we call ourselves independent? Why we call ourselves independent? Sin conscience, do you jël ñu talk si political parties yoo xam ne they don't do nothing for the people but just try to get the people to put them in office. That's why some people will be independent. Because some conscience because I am not there to worship a leader. I am not there to prop up any group or anything just to do, to our people. I am there to, to work with our people. And you find the reason. I find out, and the Gunju people have reached out. I found out what the reasons are. Again, then I don't think manifesto is the issue. I think I'd rather see something else than manifesto. All these politicians have been here ever. They rather bicker on silly things and take actionable things. I am not part of that, and I will not be distracted with that. I have reached out. Where are those politicians? Your manifesto, but why they are not there? Why are they not standing with the people? What am I? So you wonder why in Senegal, someone like Sonko, the youth and women are there to stand with him. It's because of lack of proactive right thing, not just to write literature and tell for the do nonsense. America comes to you stand back and things and get them on. What's the problem? You take the leadership now. Go and tell the people, show the people, show the people, not what you tell them, show the people what you can transform, show them the transformation there. Get involved with them. Get involved with them. Why better an national leadership in Gunju? I find out from Gunju what's going on. We all know the historic things, but recently, then this Chinese the jail 80 by 100, 80 by 100 piece of land. And ñëpp xam nañ ne jëluñ ko si yoon. Few elected leaders, so-called so-called village development committees, so-called what do you call them? Councillors, alcalos, and so on, and council of elders. They know how to corrupt our system to get what they want. They don't represent the interests of the people. And the youth came out, put out again. These people got this land. For what reason? Because of the COVID, send stocks, nekkul them in speed. Now they build a warehouse to keep their stock. What an insult. What an insult is about their stock to take it to international markets, not only China. If you know the process we all seen them taking scientific data, a license, to acquire a license in Japan so that they can sell the fish oil to Japanese. And the price for that fish oil, mota. But the other proceeds in your jail send ludas because they've nyamimbam. That's what we're doing now. We're feeding these people and they're making billions out of it. And Lucigan and you see, they are all young Chinese because their government enabled them. It's not that they are smarter than us or anything. They have leaders that are transform syndrome. Then I'm a strategy. Then I'm a national development plan. Then you just policy jox ko si beauty ñu dugal leen Africa ñu dem jël seen diplomatie dugal ko Africa nga xam ne wécci defar loi yoo xam ne yëpp nuñ ko buggee ñun ñu dem sign agreement ak China. Jox nañ ñu bridge jox nañ ñu yoon jox nañ ñu lii nonsense bridge bee yoon bi yëpp pour mu yombal pour ñu génnee suñu alal anything else ñu duñ aat ba ñu jël yóbbu léegi ñoom ñu ne dañ bugg a loolu pour build a magasin pour loo xam ne seen stockpile yi ñu def ko fa and because of bugga nañ ko rek dañ koo am we disregard the rights of a woman disregard ñooñu seen right to that land ownership of that land send features and everything else. Those women, they matter. Families, they take care of that land. We all know how many of us, ñoo xam ne su dutoon suñu yaay lu ñoo def tey ñun duñ fi toog suñu yaay lu ñoo jaayante jëndante lu ñoo béy lu ñoo def something else but they always deprive them. And I will come to the next program topic ngeen gis naka la interacté. And just imagine if Sunai these people are not stockpile, why not reduce or take that fish and buy them into the markets of the Gambia? Why not that fish go into the market? Them see people with fish prices them down. No, they don't care about that. And a policy makers. What we see here about this. Because Maggie write a post on this, just a small thing to guide me. This is the Gambia government. This is the Gambia government presents to our women in the observation of the International Women's Day. You want to celebrate our women, but lan lañ am another gender activist, another civil society movement. Another politicians, and all these people to stand up. Simply been a post about our women, our lady, and all these people. You talk the gifts at the time of celebrating, of observing, to celebrate our women, you're gonna victimize. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Are they? Don't even gist around the topic. Because of they don't see themselves as those women. Because of Kuneka, dafa am vortex above. Dafa am ñoy maso. Hence, dañoo select instead of ñu empathize, instead of ñu jàppale ñoo xam ne ñoo less fortunate déedéet dañoo foog ne ñun dañ lifin and dañoo seet certain people suñ fi lifin on ñu toog ne hey diw wala lele waaye diw those men they don't care about them and it's sad ne overwhelmingly these are the people even that went out to vote overwhelmingly ñooy vote and ñooy def everything else but they don't care about them. That's what they have. The Chinese firm finish our forest, our sea, and the only survival ground of our people, mothers, is threatened. What is there to be a citizen of a country where the state does not care about you? This bit I borrowed it from Citizen Judge. I was so lazy, Mokogi said, I don't need to think anything more because of that thought is captured. And I just taken major permission and I borrowed it. Because of we have seen this, not our forest, not our sea. I mean, anything to survive with our mineral resources. Yep, we get them. But not only that now. The bare land, the bare fertile land, a little bit of it. Chinese say one could, they will have it. Why? Why call ourselves independence? Why call ourselves a sovereign nation? Why call ourselves society? Society, the women and the marginal, I mean, the youths are marginalized and forget about it. And there's a political system called our democracy, a political system that based on the going on election to decide who governs, and then the person does what he wants. That's what we have. That's what we have. Is that right? Is that right? Why political parties are not on the ground with the women? This is a national cause. This is a Gunjo cause. Where is the MP for the thing? He will be part of it. Our evidence, but he will be part of it. Why is it quiet? Because that's what they do. They want to be MPs. They want to be councillors, not to serve the people. They want to be party leaders, not to serve the people, but to be served. That's what they want. It's a job for them. It's not anything to join to transform. Continue on this post. Many of the politicians are selling our country, knowing that the entire government administration is surviving on corruption. Politicians, they are doing what they want. Because the entire government, the technocrats, yeah, what are they quite? They're happy with Barrow because of Nigeria Fulani. Panderi Ture wrote a post, an opinion post. The Wahene from Fogna Sukuta to Jabang area, most of all the new buildings are owned by civil servants. How do they afford that? It's the corruption. Then nobody holds anybody accountable. And then Nyanyo suffer, our people. Tax is going up, everything is going up, every transaction is going up. And why next minute, you get Jason and like a nitty, you get Jason button say, you get Jason take Lisi gig the Kabila. Or they're suffering, that's what we have to say. And sin manifestation, everything. What does it mean? So we cannot go out there to be with the people and you do not understand what this transformation is. You think those women will be reading the manifestos or they can even, do they have time to hear you? Find a way to talk to them. Engage them. That's the effectiveness Sonko has done. Yes, I'm sorry, I'll bore you with this name. Because he's holding this again, because of not, he Lola effectively communicate with the people. Go out there and show them solidarity. But they just visit when it's comfortable. We visit our women, them living the jail photo opportunity, the game of same vote, visit the youth, say, I'm same vote. That's all it's about all youth. I'm saying all these agendas, all this so-called manifesto, then I'm policy be policy. What does it mean? What does the policy mean? When policy balang pare lufa neka. And I am not going on to other issues, but let's just keep it with the women's issues. The president and line ministries responsible for this allocation of the land are all filthy rich from this type of corruption. Our people are continuing to suffer. The Chinese are moving ahead, transforming their country, economy, and people. The president, look for the evidence. Kula wahan ne ana corruption be evidence be nana ko Holland the transformation of the people involved in decision making. That's the evidence. You hold the evidence ne since Barrow came to power, and all those people Barrow appointed, just see how filthy rich they are now. The properties they have in the country, and they do blatantly, they don't care within 4 years. Even the political hacks or so-called psycho funds, them seeding guys are now building mansions. They are all, even they have transformed themselves. They are all what they were. They are all, even some facing now, they are nourished. But the people are suffering. send dummy from public school, now they are in private school. And most of some of these people were in the international Bailami job and others. Now they came back, they couldn't do anything. Now they all refurbished the existing code catering amount, you get some party in it. That's what they do. It's all about that. Corruption with Falaneka. And that's why the Chinese have what they want. They want all people like the lands minister, who was struggling to put food on the table. They want all he doesn't care how much properties he has and other things and the transforms and families. But our people are not transformed. The Chinese are transforming their country. Almost 90 million has been taken out of poverty. Do you know why? Because of the strategy they have. They don't think. They are thinkers. To get out of that poverty, they did something. Send leadership at the forefront, not only to write and talk about it. They were at the front to make sure it happened. Transformation, that's how it happened. Leaders would be get there, get dirty with it and move it. When they had their strategy, they have their blueprint and they walk through that blueprint, and China has been transformed out of the mystery of Africa. They know every African state. Because one thing forced me on the MEMA. China main and conference center. Yes, anything you discuss in the conference center is translated to Chinese and is with the Chinese. Then they take that and they make policy out of that. China main and China main and China main and malo. Yo, do musa self-sufficient. China ñoo jël sa jëni du ko nappa di life next minute di ko poison everything léegi suñ paré ñom ñu defar ay jën di la ko jaay. Every model, everything, they have a strategy for everything. Ñu jël seen ndaw yi ñu productive jël gisuloo benn Chinese bu màggee bu jël jox xaalis bu ñëw Africa. They brought the future generation, put money in them, dugal in Africa. Young people look every industry in Africa. Ku nekk ak loo yellow or loo. Even in places in Zambia and others, they went and start poultry farming. Loo xam ne jëlut much, and the people have to revolt. They did that in Kenya. In Kenya, you them the Napa send Jenny, the Napa living and after the import. I mean, why is this? Huh? And we know this. You get talk online, you go discuss online, you go discuss with and this is us now. Politicians you get the full there, technocrats you get the full there, but you how they no advocate, then go fight for our people. But no. All we do is talk online. How many of us know contact Wagunju to know what's going on? They're taking class action. You get them at the lobby to put injunction Monday. Put injunction to stop this development. You get couple law. Why take if you you'd see on body child property Chinese, told child things, you'd see then yara then leave. Because of now the fear. It's not ne bagage Chinese. Yana ngi ragal ne youth si ñu ngi ñew seen kër yi. Yana ngi bañ ne youth si ñu ngi disturb seen siesta yi, seen ngonal. Yana ngi ragal because of traffic boo leen nekk youth si ñu fa dugal di taal moto yi. Loolu ngeen di ragal, but you don't care about what the consequences are. This is our problem. Lan lañ nekk di def? Lan lañ nekk di def to stop this thing? Lan lañ nekk di def to support the youth on the ground? Who are we mentoring on the ground? Lan lañ nekk di jox these people? Suñ taxawee women living give them the exploit this our local women to advance what? Just as the politicians abuse them, we the same people talk what to have solidarity with them, what to support them. No, we are so individualistic. It's all about man atsuma jabat atsuma dobi. That's we move from the society of independence and support each other. And we expect things to change when the whole system is designed like that. And people then then ideas and anything to change, they will stand at the far and they start trying to talk to people. That's what make it known. Give up all people that transform, how they transform. You have to get dirty. You have to get down there with the youths and get them know. But then we youth senior right there and the thinkers, the biggest. And what does it do? What does it do? It's not about us. Not us to be celebrated even now, probably in the future, since you celebrate, but not us. But that's all about celebrating us, how big we are, how smart we are. But what's the evidence, our bigness and our smartness? It does not reflect on our people. What's our success? How can we, how the measures in success on based on only what we have for ourselves? But we cannot see society. That's what success should be. But impacting on society. Our ambition should be bigger than us, my wife, my kids. It's about our society. Because this we see how the Chinese are transformed. Move on. Check the fortunes of the president and the following ministries responsible for this criminal act. You see, the local people, the alcalo, the council of elders, and the so-called youth, in your hand, and you with the government, or you with the administration, they accept this corruption from the Chinese. No, they don't have nothing. It's a matter of job or just seen domi jobby laborer and so on, small dom am na fa and things like that. Ci wéru koor jotté ñum jox leen sukul ndogu and so on. Yow nga or si or nga ne nga oral yalla ba fay def crop ci nga jël ndogu wala ñu am gaamo wala those nonsense ñu jël leen. That's all they do. That's what they get. Who gets the lion's share of the money? These people, the Minister of Fisheries, them and hold the Minister of Fisheries, we have seen the scandal. Them and hold James Thomas God. All these people retired and they were struggling. And now them and hold James Thomas Goddess. How much he had? Transformation boom the they even become young people again. And them and hold competition comes to the That's why they are ministers. Them and hold from the permanent secretary and the scandal at his ministry and other technocrats. Fisheries, one line ministry. And the Two, Minister of Local Government and Lands. Them then hold the fortunes of Minister of Government and Land. Another pension, the struggle. Them then hold fortunes someday, not only take more and so the dog land from Kone. Because of Mugen Dogal Barok, Mugen Dogal Bopa. Look at the Minister of Environment. Them then this last the other few weeks ago, people saw the properties that they built and the other things that they do and how they transform their families now. How much do they spend for their upkeep? More than they don't have anything but ones. It's the same. They all knew what was going on. Kendula, they know fen. Now, how about one, unless woman you TRC, Laham, they know fen. Because we were out here telling them, and they were on social media, saying what I on social media. We know that. And the same ministers, never social media, who am social media account, yangi am someone handling a social media account. Barrow have a social media account been handled. People have witnessed him viewing an account. They know what's going on. That's why they respond to us. All of them. They know social media, like when they come in social media, more is a problem. That's why they try to buy social media influencers. But them and hold the kind of people they buy, just like them. Those are the people they can buy. But the foolishness will continue because everybody and you continue to condone this nonsense. Every time they can hurry a political party, new people, and these are the things I'm talking about. How these people manage to get political parties. Gap and all this nonsense. Have we ever seen anything like this? And these people and the audacity to talk, they do what nonsense because of what we give them license to operate a scam. And that's why they want a constitution, regardless of the implications of our principle and everything. Just so that they can be ministers or they can get money from government. That's why I have problem with this 50+1. I don't think it's progressive. I don't think it changed anything. It gives a majority. Majority of who? It's equality. Majority of what? Huh? Go look at the Macky Sall government. Look at the Macky Sall parliament. People standing there saying, Macky Sall work mom like this. That's what they say. And the Senegal we take to be progressive. because of all those people that went into parliament for that so-called party or coalition of political parties are all there for themselves. This is the same sample we look at, 50 plus 1, 50 plus 1. I don't think it's progressive. So we believe ourselves and mean what we want. Let's go and there, educate our people, and they let them vote overwhelmingly for anyone. And if the other people they happen to be on opposition, let them be effective in opposition. Opposition is part of governance. So say that, put how the UNECA government, it's not true. Because of UNECA opposition are lazy to do what they're supposed to do. That's what it is. Why do we measure government for the people UNECA on the pay, the payroll of government? That's not true. That's why we need to change. You know what to transform really? We have to change that attitude and make sure we are true to each other. And make sure we don't leave a vacuum for these clowns coming out, the oil political party leaders and something else. And people jumping around and people condoning them because of left-leg arrogance. If we are true to ourselves and look at ourselves, all the impact of people, we start to deal with the thing, we see the transformation. Barrow to audacity and no other person. And this is not about to take the Barrow out of State House. This is about to make sure anybody gets into a State House is accountable to us. And we make impact to our people. There's no point calling over democracy or anything when the people live in this condition. We'll continue. Take the Minister of Local Government and Land, the Minister of the Environment, the Minister for Women Affairs. Where's the Minister for Women Affairs? What's the point of the word Minister for Women Affairs? No, it's a political position. Just to try to get someone to mobilize the women for you. Just as now is the norm. We have to have a vice president woman so that we can mobilize women. Tokenism. That's all what is. That's all what is. That's why it's not even, we don't even see it good enough to have a female president. No, they have to be our deputies. Because they have to be deputy chair of the commission. They have to be deputy of this, deputy of this. Why do they have to be deputies? Because that's the mindset we put in them. So we don't value them. Because if we cannot value our mothers out there trying to keep our community together, try to salvage us, these are the mothers that do everything for us. Political party, bu fi taxaw bu fi nekk dara those jigéen ñoo nekk di social organizers tax mu am. Xel ku fi dem school, ku fi jànga, ku fi tekki, ku fi defin, these people ñoo ko def. Anything else, si koñ bi sax ñu fa everything else, these people put it together. Do we care about them? No. The minute we have a little, and you them self-transformation. We don't want to be the model of or get into anything. We just go up there try to fucking. But water is not sustainable. Society water will collapse. Water you talk the gislumen you talk the gislumen jangulasi am. You think they came from Mars? No, they came from society because the way society treat them. We continue. Where are opposition and civil society organizations? What is the alternative? When people advocate for direct action, they call it an incitement of violence. Should you have direct action or violence? Then what about violence? We think of Jama Len Buga, Nini Jama Len Buga. Probably Yankee Jama. But the people send livelihood. Ñoo xam ne dañoo guddi gi yëpp dañ koo coono. You eewu suba di coono. Di dem si naako yi dem si anywhere else, di dem si marché bi, dem anywhere else try to get that much. And do you know the contribution for Hamne Moy the greater because nobody ever, since so-called social scientists and everybody, nobody dares ever try to quantify how much contribution, monetary contribution the woman put in a family. But we still have that mindset in the gold more they provide. Because of the gold have a steady job or the government, the gold a so-called go and sign in, to go to work. But every other thing that they do, what they do for our family to keep the family going, but what they go out, venture out there to make and bring to the family is far. But no, that's why when they are divorced, they would be taken out of the home because mom will kill you, mom will And if that kër nekk kër because of their contribution, do we ever bother about that? No. But we thought that we respect the International Women's Day, international this or that. Yeah, we value our, I mean, suñ yaay bu ñu jur, suñ jabar bu ñu am. And suñ jabar bu ñu am sa happy. We value some of us suñ sisters yi sax lañ gën a value that jabar joo xam ne moom la ñoo make a family. Because of that's how we see ourselves. That's how society see our things. Dañoo indi jigéen pour not ko. Dañoo indi jigéen pour toroxal ko. Not even ne kooku mooy sa continuité. Kooku mooy continuer sa life. Kooku mooy defi no. Yes, sisters. No, it's all about that way. Kii la faa ñëw pour live and so on. Because of that's how what the mentality is. Blow more than into society. Then that's why we cannot see another woman there or other women there in society what they do for us. We just see the people that we directly link with, but they then interdepend to all of those people. So you say ñu mun am dundu bu yomba so dafa am jigéen ak other people ñu dem taxaw di def other things yoo xam ne ñun mënuñ koo def wala parawuñ koo def ñooñu suñ valeur wut ñooñu suñ taxawee Chinese yi def lañ ne moo tax tey gisuloo jën bi mu ngi def léegi mu ngi ni tey di Sonko. Do you know the Sonko issue? Boom, amen. You know, we started to have problem with some of our condiments coming from Senegal. Not a problem. Because traditionally, people that produce, example, places like Bakau, I have lived in Bakau, I have lived in Foni. I tell you, people produce surplus until the World Trade Organization came in and commodity markets, and monopolized everything. That's where it is. Rice was produced enough for people were producing enough for themselves. But now today people cannot even produce enough for themselves because of it's cheaper to import it than produce it. Yes, that's what the world market does. It's cheaper to import it than produce it because of you subsidize the family farmers a lot of things incentives for your farmers but development and make you depend. But another strategy more just like the Chinese do, they make you dependent, they give you things, they control things, and you depend on that. You don't think for yourself, you don't do for yourself, you are not independent and dependent. These people can make a rice variety boo xam ne dafa the yield dina baax for the 5 years, but after 5 years mu dem down. You don't know that because of amuloo anything to do with the development of that rice variety. Nga jël ko, we have seen all these things. Nga foog ne bumper harvest, we have seen that in our groundnut, we have seen that in many things, and we think it's an accident, but no. Because of we fu ñooñu jàngee wala fu ñu leen jàngale ñun dañ faa dem jàngee waaye suñ dellusee suñ réew yi lan la ñoo def bugga nañoo toog rek di téye xaalis bi we don't want to think again luñ jàngale duñ jëm pour jël ko pour ñu jëriñ suñ nit ñi. That's the society we have. That has to change. moo tax suñ waxee ne government, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about us as people. Ma continue. What are the people supposed to do when elected officers are helping foreign exploiters to take their livelihood? Force was the fist, now is their guidance. I mean, where are the Kobo South social influences taking the innocent people to show solidarity to Barrow? And that's Kobo South social influences. ñu taxaw ñu ne ñoom Kombo South ñu ngi ko jël yóbbu ko Barrow, maa ngi jël yóbbu ko Dabo, maa ngi jël yóbbu ko Mama Kandeh, maa ngi jël yóbbu ko Halifa Sallah, where are they? Now, this is the local, but as I say, it's not a local problem. This is a national problem. Why I put there is just an example. Most of these people that come to you to say they are coming to get you to elect someone to empower, they are not true. They are doing it for their own social status. They are doing it for their own satisfaction. They are using our people. That's what the fact is. Then we should cut the transaction. We should change that. We should change that narrative. And bring the issues and tackle the issues that should be. As I said, the program meant to be 1 hour, and I think I've taken 7 minutes more onto that topic. I have to move to the other topic. The other topic is a continuity of what we're talking about. It's just the same thing. And it does hurt me. It does hurt me more than everything. I'm relaxing, Bopo, how we distinctly we can be a society or we can be a country when we live like that. Um, this is about, you can see this youth, and I have, when I share it, should not be shared, but it's already all over the place because the police took the pictures of these youths, three of them, and plastered them on their police magazine to say that these youths are alleged criminals. Now these youths went and burgled a house, and the person wasn't there. It lived in the diaspora. They burgled the house. They take a flat screen and they took other possession, which is completely wrong. But one thing is wrong. They are alleged to have done a crime. They are not convicted of a crime. And I give the benefit of the doubt of the opinion. Looking at them, with my empathy, I take them to be juveniles. And to, in a juvenile sense, again, in my mindset, moine, even if they are 22 and they look 18, and not only look 18, because Hamnane, if they at this age, they are at this level of breaking into people's property, these people, then I'm in a very difficult life. I'm in a very difficult livelihood. And what is their future? That's where my empathy is. Where is their future? It's wrong to do this. But these youths knew difficult, that's what they crime. Gisamuma bete. Gisamuma bete. This is one that Gisamuma bete, the police put put a picture of any senior officers, dignitaries, or any politician or anything that done corruption or any crime and plaster. Do you know how much rape allegations are in the process and they all die off? And most of these people accused of rape. Just 2 days ago, someone called for an advice how to tackle that because a very senior person is accused of abuse. Do you think they have any this thing in this criminal justice system? No. That's the society we have. Society we have. Now, what is about this youth? What is about this youth? Now, when I put this, some people say, fuck me. I am saying I'm defending the youth. I am defending them. Who else would? Who else should be defended? Do we understand what defend means? I am not defending wrong they do. I am defending their right to be treated properly. I am defending their right to be given, what is due to them, the support that is due to them. But I know how it feels because some of us been victims. Someone did something to us. Now, so you say someone who does this thing, we take the no chako. Wow, Sacha, no like my phone, no smoker Sacha. Definitely. But your boy one every day young celebrates as Sacha. Sacha could be right because of this Sacha Alalingo, Muge rain hospitals and everything. But young every day young now better attack. No, Sacha. The Sacha is a future dummy. The Sacha, the destabilizer real. Why young men attack you every day? What you have because of this the impact not directly of I'm not impact that put to this, you have to just take that. You have to lazily just throw them out. And this is the society we in. And I decided, Munaharima, and I thought about it, and I decided to put questions. But put 20 questions to ask ourselves, to digress into it, to halal. What is this about? I didn't need to do that. I was doing that in order to publish something because I already informed myself that empathy, it's not something I borrowed or anything. It's something nurtured in me to understand society and people what they went through and my own experience and experience I am dealing with right now. ku am njaboot di nga xam ne it's not a straight narrow way regardless who you are. It's not just straight narrow ne sa doom dafa baax. It's a challenge, and a different time of their life ñu ngi def most of the other things yoo xam ne bëgguñ kenn yëg ko. ñu ngi into drugs, ñu ngi into jikko bu bon, sàcca, tapale, fen, ñu ngi into that te ñun jàngal luñ leen ko probably ñun sax ñu ngi leen koo jàngal the way we live, because ñu ngi toog di def immoral but we don't see that. suñu toog yooyu yëpp ngi am but ñu ngi ko nëba, ñu ngi seet, ñu ngi try, ñu ngi daw si sëriñ, ñu ngi dem si institutions, ñu ngi dem si doctor yi di laajte seen mental health ak yooyu, because we can afford that. ñu ngi leen a génnee si dëkk bi, ñu ngi leen a changeal seen environment mooy si diaspora or way ñu ngi try everything. What's unfortunate, am na xale yoo xam ne amuñ loolu. That's where society comes in. moo tax ma ne these are things yoo xam ne empathy moo ko sa conscience sa empathy moo ko inform, and moo tax ma am buga am to waxtaan this issue, just as I talked about the women issues in Gunjur and society and mu ñëw si youth. Now, when you stop those women from the garden, send them home, destroy everything, do we know what the women get from there? Do we know? I know the people would just see the monetary. You know, I'm for Halis would do that. Very important. Some of us, do we understand that this Dempsey Garden before 3 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening? That's normally how it is, or some or more. It's the only time these women are together without other distractions. Yes, delegate, but this is the only time they share. They build things together. They talk about. I mean, they have a support system. They have a social. It's something else for them. It's not only where they go and get money. This is where they find people that they can confide in for some of the problems they encounter in their marriages. I mean, even in their own health. Because we all know society, when you get some of our women don't even have the ears of the men to know their physical health or their mental health or anything else. They are just there to serve. But this is like a respite for them. Yes, they go and label. But there's one thing, didn't talk Watan, didn't when you should go and study this environment. Go and study this environment and see how happy they are in that environment. When they have their breaks, when they're doing their work, when they sing, when they do all those things, when they confide in, when they build relationships, they become good friends, and they continue. This is what it is. Do you think of me if you take this away from them, what happens to the Sendomi? I understand this. That's why I said this. You see, some of those women, there might be some who they don't need the money anymore. Because I'm not dumb, but it's not that. It's not about the money. It's about what it gives them, other things that it gives them. I have lived that experience where my mother is doing certain things, and you think, why is she doing it? She doesn't need the money. No, it's something else for her. Represent her independence and other things. She want to earn for herself. She want to contribute. She want to interact. She's interacting with clients. She's doing this. She's doing that. That's where she want to be, and hence that she is happy doing that. Ne am na fukki doom, am na juróomi doom, am na ñaari doom, am na benn doom ku ko defal lii taxut dafa dem. I know that. I I my own mother. I've seen that experience. Selling. I see that she doesn't need it. Literally no, but she will do that, and we support her. I know of my friends whose mothers went to the narco until one of my friends' mother, they went to the narco until late years. She became she went to a hospital because a family member came from Badibu and was sick in RVTH. And this woman, or elderly woman, she have kids and everything. Elderly woman went to the modem RBTH. Went to RBTH and looking after this family member from Badibu, the elder is from Salikenya, very elderly person, another woman, very elderly woman that needed taken care of at the hospital. And obviously, because of the respect, they have to find someone else to do that. And this woman went and volunteered and helped these relatives until the relatives recovered and went back to Badibu, Salikenya. She continued to help other women in this thing and end up being employed. They force her to be on the payroll. She never asked for a job. She will get up. Now she's not going to the NAPO because of the family have booked her. Now she's find something else. She'll get up, pay her money from back out, take this thing in the morning, and stay there till evening. We call him Mama. I still don't know the old woman name. It's just called Mama. Mama Diba. They call her Mama Diba. Mama. That all her life until she even she. I mean, that's what they do. But if we take all those things from them, because we don't care about them, we don't care about it. Now, Shendomi, we look at this. My saying it should be natural. That should be taken. This is the empathy we should take in our public office. This is the empathy we should be showing in our policy and everything else. Then what is happening in the Gambia will not happen. I said the photo tells million words. What do we read from the photo? When do we do this thing? People just discount it because of now we don't have empathy anymore. We think that we passed that because we only see us and we see the people, and especially when we don't have families yet, or we have families they're too young, or we are just hypocrites. It's in our household itself. What these kids do outside is our household itself, but we are trying to deal with it. We are trying to stop it. We are trying to change this our this thing. But because of we are hypocrites, we'll come on social media and blame them and blame the youths without thinking through it. What picture? By looking at the picture, what does it tell you? Look at the young faces. Look at the environment, and look at. I mean, think about these things. And I came up with these questions. I'll have to go it quickly. I'll just read the questions and a little bit of brief analysis so that because I have to leave for work later. I said, who are they? What have they done? Who are they? What have they done? This is very important to ask. Who are they? Who are they means a lot. What's their background? What's their history? What's their story? Do we know whether, what parents do they have? What environment did they grow in? At times, it's not the parents, it's the environment they grow in. What do the parents have what it takes to get them out of that environment? No. It's not easy to change environments or change the conditions within that environment. What have they done? I like to have done something. I like to have done something. That's breaking and entering. That's it's. This is not about culturally. Culturally, I'll tell you. Culturally, if you look at it, we encourage theft. We encourage theft. How many times as kids? But we see it as growing up. How many times for myself and my compatriots? I can tell you. We used to go out as kids, go into people's garden without permission, scale the fence, and steal fruit trees and move on. Growing up certain age, we thought now this is it's a rite of passage. We used to go to people's munigana, that small poultry kind of thing. We used to go to people's munigana to steal their chicken. It's not that we don't have food at home, but we steal this chicken to do what? Because we want to organize and we are boys. We want to organize a party. We have to go and steal chicken and do the party and invite the girls. It's a rite of passage. But nobody ever seen that as a problem. But how many is this going to affect other people? Growing up to the extent of some of us move, some of the group might get involved. into not stealing chicken. We started to ship to do barbecue. Now we are a little bit grower. Our muscles are a little bit distinct, and yeah, we want to do a picnic. We want to get girls, and now we are a little bit grown up. Not only we are not only attracting the local girls now. We started to go into Latikunda. We started to go to Banjul. We want to impress those kind of girls to come into our districts. We go to Cape. We have to go to Cape Point to do this. You see, and there are other ways, but society was not telling us that we could have gone out to raise this money or to do these things. You see, that's where it's important. What is missing? We could have other ways been taught how to raise this money, how to do these things to raise money. And that if we are taught another way, that's where you inform the child to become an entrepreneur. But we leave this system and just normalize it. We raise the child to be a thief, to be dishonest. We don't realize this. These are social things that are important to be dealt with. We go to Cape Point, we invite the girls. We sleep and we go home. And some of us have to steal the rice. Yeah, you have to bring rice. You have to bring this. Some of us, our families cannot afford that much rice to give away, but we have to steal to get our contribution, because if you don't contribute, you don't come. I mean, these things happen. These are cultural, but there are other things now. Even probably now, I'm not even familiar with all the challenges they're going, because I am after this. This is important to get involved. Now, all the things they have, it's probably to get on social media, probably to get a mobile phone, probably to access the internet, would get them to be still in small things or doing small things. Yes, you don't join. It's their generation. It means a lot to them. Playing those games and everything means a lot to them. That's why we need a society that is structured. That's where we don't only, that's why we need a government that creates an environment, a cohesive environment where we do come in and support each other and do things for each other. That's how it works. Government cannot just think that they can build roads and these things and everything honky dory. No, society means something else. But we don't do, especially from 22 years of dictatorship. That's why when you ask who are these kids, these are kids that know only a dictatorial regime. These are kids that only know a dictatorial regime. That's why it's important to ask this question and why call them criminals? Why call them criminals? You see, again, they might have committed criminal acts. But what's the history? What's the background here? What's our social justice system? What's the social justice system? What do we recognize juveniles? Because some of these kids, though, if we had a criminal justice system that was well structured, we talk about reform. Do we hear opposition, the politician talking about the reforms of the criminal justice system? You know, they're forget about that. That was all buzzwords for taking the idea out. Reason do they talk about that now? Now you look at this, and these kids might have, because you don't just jump and go and boggle and take. They might, they are affected with a lot of problems now, probably drugs and other things, vices and other things. That's why they get to that. But if something was there, they would have been captured and rehabilitated before. But no, we just let them through. And they get to the criminal justice system. One thing it is to go through before a judge or a magistrate and be incarcerated. And before they get to a judge or magistrate, they go to the police station. From the arrest to the way they process in the police station, their rights are not read to them or been treated right. Because that's why you see their pictures in the thing. If the police don't get it right in this, they will not get the other bits right. So the process there, they take them to magistrate just to serve the condition of the law, say that they cannot be kept over 24 hours, and that's not true. We only realize when an activist, we only realize when an important, what we call important people, we term important people. So are arrested. Now we start to count the clock. 12 hours, 13 hours. But when these kids are arrested, nobody knows about them. And you'll be surprised, go to serious crime unit and other areas, they are incarcerated for weeks before being processed. And they are maltreated in many ways. Their rights are violated in many ways. They don't have to be physically beaten, but in many ways. And during the process of all that is because of the police are overwhelmed because they went and picked all these many kids. It's not because of that. They are going through a process or a mechanism where they will be evaluated, where we have social workers to come in to look into them to try to get the support. And no, it's not about that. It's in fact taking the small ones, mixing them with hardened criminals and other things, and they start to be mentored from that interaction, making friendship and acquaintances, and the fear factor of going to prisons, or fear factor going to the cells, fear factor of being dealt by the police, everything taken away. Their innocence literally taken of them. Guess what? If it was my child or your child, they will not spend an hour, or they will not even be arrested. The minute we know about it, we would intervene there and get the thing out of the system. That's we have to check that. And taking that, and before taking to a magistrate, and does the magistrate do any other evaluation? No, because of this in the mindset, because of it's not in the system. The system does not inform them that that's a juvenile. This is no process. Papa mile to remind, and they go to remind, and they this is what happens. This is what happens. It's not right. We continue here. Thank you. Um, Continue here. The other question is, what is their background? That's where I went in. Their background counts because I said, my kid and your kid, not that they will not do the crime. They might they might do that crime, but we'll intervene. Not that we encourage them to do it, not that we brought them up to do it, but circumstances and other things. As I said, is beyond us. And they commit it. What we do, straight away jump in. Don't naka gorla warucha them kaso gorla dila lele what that's what we do. We part them theater, the background of the child matters. And actually most of these people, majority of them you find out that because of their background they where they are. But it's society fail, a lot of things fail. But why blame the kids directly? Why can't we look at, because it's not gonna stop it. The blame is not gonna stop that. What we should do is to blame even encourage situation. People walk away and thinking that this is not my problem, it's not a problem. What we should do is to look into find solutions and to make sure we do. That's what society should do. That's what government should do. Create that environment where society works like that. Why are they committing the alleged crimes? Do we know why they're doing this? Because again, as I said, we have to find out these things. You know, studies have shown, social science studies have shown, even when kids that are failed in the educational system, people like me, people like others have that the system have failed because they don't cater for us. I struggled throughout my primary school. I left school for a year, went back to school because I was lucky. You see, I was lucky. I had the particular kind of parent. I was lucky. I found I accidentally had a head teacher. That was experienced. That was different. That's what they said. But how many kids would be lucky? Because I was not. It was a challenge for me. I have problems. I cannot relate to. It was not people like me were not catered for in primary school. Now, if I didn't have the parents, if I didn't have the luck to have that headmaster that brought me back to school and mentored me, I would have been one of them. You see, these are things that are very important. You have to find out why they commit crime because the problems start from a, I mean, very early. And even lack of access to early education. I mean, there are a lot of factors. And do we care about them? No. Did you hear 4 years? Did we hear educational reforms? No. There's no actual reform. We are just working towards elections. It's all about elections. Everything they're talking about this constitution is nothing to do with anything else. It's about elections. I mean, going to elections. The things articles they're talking about the disputing 50 plus one retroactive this thing is all about getting in there. That's all. The other areas are not important to them because they don't care about it. They won't apply it. And do you know the importance? You can have the best constitution. If Yaya may have applied the 19, stick by this present constitution, we won't have a problem. We won't have much problem. No. What all he was doing is abuse that constitution. He was abusing the laws. It's clear. Macky Sall is trying to abuse a good constitution. Alpha Conare abused a good constitution. Kenya will abuse a good constitution. What matters is the people are informed. They will not allow people to abuse them. That's where it changed. Continuity. Why are they committing the crime? Like crimes? Are other youths committing similar crimes or worse, but treated differently? This is what I'm saying. The privilege, underprivileged, and the privilege. Do we know how many youths are there committing crime every day and nobody even arrests them? No, I mean they even have environment that they do what they want. Nobody even dares to. I mean check it out. We know areas. Go and look at the Senegambia area where what is going on there. How many crimes are committed by certain things? Who are the people facilitating those crimes? Who owns those venues and other things? Those are criminals and crimes been committed, but nothing will come out of it. The other point was who are these privileged kids or youths? Why the different? You see, this is the thing. Who are those privileged kids and why the different? You see, if you start asking this question, then you understand the three youths arrested here. Yes, but they deserve something else. Not to be, shame, but to be this. We are even taking away the rest of the innocence they have. These are things that remember, but is our police criminal system informed? No, it needs reforms. I mean, should this youth be given a better opportunity or condemned to prison? What else are we doing for this kid? Now they process them, take to prison, and they become hardened criminals. Have we solved the problem? How much did we spend to take them to prison? Have we solved the problem? If they go to prison and spend time, 1 year, 2 years, for burgling someone's house and everything else, when they come out, do you know who are the people coming out to society again? What should prison mean? Should it be to rehabilitate people? Should it be to make sure they come back into society and add, be productive? What's the point of prison? That's why we're talking about prison reforms. We're talking about these reforms. Continue here. Um, what would you do if they were your sons or nephews? Now, let's be truthful here. If it happens to be our sons or our nephews we saw on the picture, what would we do? What would we do? That's the thing we should be thinking about. What would we do? Our own. What challenges do we have with our own kids, our nephews, and we have our challenges? Are we throwing them out there, or are we trying to help them? Because the reason these people are in the police nest because they does not help. The majority, that's what it is. I continue here. What will we do or wish to be done now, considering all the above questions? Now, what position are you taking after considering all the questions asked above, the 9 questions asked above? What style did you think this should be done? That's where we should advocate for reforms. I bet if anybody think about these questions, would not limit the issue about these 3 youths and condemn them to prison. They will think of they should do. And now then we should think of what we do, or we wish that something should be done. Now, and in order to stop other youths going through, we should not create a conveyor belt. The criminal justice system should not mean that. We should always look for mechanisms to improve it, to get people out of the prison system, to rehabilitate people, to people to stop offending, and it will take a lot. As I said, there are society have, I mean, we have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to be done, but we have to start somewhere. And that start somewhere, we have to have the leadership that knows what to do and start to put things in order. That's why I don't blame the people, that I blame lack of leadership in the people. That people feel that no, or can, or people appointed or elected to do should do that, and people will be willing to follow. I went on now. Consider the following. After those 10, consider the following. What should have happened to people that failed this youth? These youths have been failed. Who failed them? What should happen to them? We should ask that. Now that's where we come to our reforms again. They've been failed. You see, just as the junglers, we blame them. The junglers left their houses. They have never killed anybody or anything, but yeah, probably they had some problems. Some of them, their mental state or other things, Do we send them to a national institution? That institution made them killers. Now, what do? We just blame the junglers. We don't blame society itself. We don't look into society. We don't look into the institution itself and reform that institution. You think there are no other junglers waiting to act, depend on the leadership they have? There are so many junglers in that country waiting to be, so many potential junglers waiting to be made junglers. Let's just put it that way. We have to look at the root causes of things in order to bring about change. I went on to the second one. Why we never see our leadership on the news for corruption and daily abuse of their power? Why don't we ever see our leadership on the news? We have seen the corruption. The evidence of corruption is out there for see. Since this government came into power, we have seen the corruption. We have seen the accusation of corruption. We had the fertilizer scandal. The police made that investigation, send the investigation to AG Chambers. AG Chambers make recommendation. A permanent secretary should be, and permanent secretary and other officers. Did we see anything? No. The permanent secretary still starts serving in other ministries, and orders and orders and orders and orders. Do we see them? No. We don't see our leaders. We don't see corruption and other things being dealt with. I can go on. We all know about this: the cocaine, the money laundering, and everything that goes on. Nobody gets. Tax evasions and all this, and nothing to get dealt with. Why? We don't see their pictures being taken, be plastered, be shamed, be this thing. No. We should think about that. We ask ourselves why our politicians and white collar criminals are not arraigned to court to be held accountable. Why? We don't see that. And what happened to the leadership and the leaders and managers that committed alleged crimes since independence? Where's the history of prosecuting the wrongdoers? We don't have the history of that. We always prosecute the marginalized, the youth, women. What happened to the Journey Commission report? That's the latest commission report we have. Do you know how many commission report we have in the First Republic? Now, this is the Journey Commission report. What happened to it? Why not the outrage? Why are we not hunting those people? Why no arrest been done? But no. In fact, this present government went and in fact undermined the Journey Commission report. Instead of using the due process in order to make sure these people are punished, no, they went on selective justice and went and acted criminally. In fact, they should be arrested for that and be prosecuted. They took the proceeds of that commission and make it there from Adama Barrow to the bottom. That's what we have. Why are we so angry with the youths? Who should we be angry with? Where should the change come from? You think the youths will change when the system is like this? When corruption is just the order of the day? When there's no reforms, no educational system, no job opportunities, no social infrastructures to help them, these youths develop in this challenging age of social media? Do we know the challenges youths have to go through than our time? My time was going to the Bantaba or going to Baka Beach, go to the Botanic Garden or going to the bushes in around the stadium to running, hunting rabbits or whatever we can find. That's what we had as our environment. Now the youths have this. It's just get explosive. Do you know what that does? Do we know what that does? Do we have anything in society to help them navigate with this? Do you know what it does to their ambitions? Do you know what it does to their mindset? We don't get that. Is our educational system fit for purpose to prepare them for this world? No. And we keep on wondering why. We keep on wondering why the youths are who they are. When we talk about education, what do we have as education? For when the last time did we ask for reform? We knew we came from 22 years of dictatorship, and we think that our educational curriculum is okay. With even with what it is, with the metrics that you can apply now, with all the failings that is happening, we don't care. When you appoint the education ministers and they're psychophants, they wear the t-shirts of the president and going after presidential tours and making statements that are unfounded in order to appease the president and to mislead the people for the president to be voted when the evidences are contrary to what they do. And the worst, when we take women and put them in those positions and use the instead of use them for their empathy and this, we turn them to be the kind of people that they should not be. Another question is, what happened to all the allied crimes, crimes what happened to all the alleged crimes Barrow proposes to investigate or drag before the courts? How many crimes have been committed that Barrow said we will investigate? We'll have a panel. We do this, we do this. The latest is the drugs. Now, do we understand the implications of that drugs presence in the country, onto the youths and other things? The availability of drugs in the country and other, do we? I mean, these are the things we should talk about. To change that in order, if not, these youths are just part of the conveyor belt. They will go and other youths will be coming in. We continue here again. Why the law enforcement agencies and the justice system never find big criminals? Why? How comes? Just as these alleged criminals of the drug barons, nothing has been found. Cold case and other crimes. We have seen other drug cases, cold case, corruption, cold case. Never. White collar crime, cold case. Now, armed robbery, cold case. We had few weeks ago a carjacking in Sukuta area, alleged 6 million. Even the investigation did not come to determine the crime committed or the alleged crime committed. Not even to talk about finding the importance of the investigation is not only to find people that do it, but investigate to find out even if a crime was committed. Are we confident that a crime was committed? Do we understand? I'm saying something, but if you don't investigate, we cannot even find the facts. People do things for different things. People might be bankrupt or have done something else, and they don't want to be held accountable. They will state something. We have seen that. People state that, oh, I've been robbed. Now, if Ben Suarez said that his house been robbed and Ben Suarez owe you $3,000, what would you do? Would you come after Ben Suarez? No. And some businesses would be like that. We don't even know because a lot of questions to be asked. 6 million. Why transport 6 million from a 6-year-old Bureau's the Sans to a remote part of the country in the dark of night without the necessary security? These are questions to be asked. But no, Do we have a law enforcement agency that thinks like that? And yes, if we establish all the facts and find out that it happened, now who did this? If people can get away with 6 million or 5 million, 2 million, 3 million, or 30 pounds or whatever it is, what country are we looking at? Can we see now, how we see where we're going towards where Nigeria is today? You know, when people started to import arms, people import drugs, people do this, people do nothing come out of it because they are affiliated to politicians or interest groups and other things. Now look at Nigeria. This morning today, another school have been raided and kids have been taken away. Now it's not only Boko Haram. Now even criminals will just go and get ransom. That's ransom now. This is a country that we're moving towards. Now, why are we sitting there and follow the police putting the pictures of three alleged youths committing a crime of burglary, and we celebrate it? The last time was goat people that stole goats. Oh, we caught the people that stole the goats. Do you know? But at the same time, we had the drugs and everything going on. We never hear about anything. Nobody. You see, to understand this, you know, even if you go to town, if you know, even people that sell wheat, they might arrest someone who sells a kilo of wheat, who have kilo in this thing. But the real pushers, that they don't arrest them because those people have enough money to bribe them. They know them. And again, if you look at that, ask yourself, if a constable, police constable, earns $4,000, now this is a police, a disciplinary force constable, earning $3,000, $4,000. White men are earning $5,000. Housemates are earning $6,000, $7,000. You see the problem in our institutions? Now, that's why I don't go out there to blame the law enforcement completely, but I am blaming the management of it. I am blaming, again, the policy or holders of it. You see, that's where it fails. The policy holders. That's when I am fixated about government and the policy holders. Yes, the managers, the commanders, these are the people to inform. I have lived through it. I know what's like. But it was better then. It's worse now and it's getting worse. You think that police officer would be effective in fighting crime? You think that teacher that earns $3,000, $4,000 doesn't have, affordable housing, doesn't have transportation, kids and every other thing. You think that teacher would be in the right mind state of this thing to teach children, to impact on them? This is what we should be worried about. Not to pick on victims. Yes, they commit crimes, but look at them and you find out these people are victims. There are no criminals. Hardened criminals are there, and the biggest criminals are the policymakers or the people that would guide that policy. Why the law enforcement agencies and the justice system never find big criminals? Should the big criminals continue to enjoy their freedom? Should the big criminals continue to enjoy their freedom? You are quite right. Do you know right now? And you realize that most of the revenue that government say they are raising, they are opening accounts in private banks. This practice is going to. Do you know the corruption in that? Do you know the corruption in that? This is what happened in the IMF time. That's why that's not. This is part of money laundering and criminality, and this is one of the reasons why most of our banks operate in the Gambia because nobody followed the money laundering regulation. They lie. Right now, we have excess foreign currency that the banks are not buying foreign currency. Some banks don't even want to buy foreign currency anymore. The amount of fake people the crime in the country, people just under the printing of money in the country, the dollars, people don't even get it. The amount of fake currency in the country and everything else. But we have never heard anything done about it. We only hear the small things been done, small people been arrested, or small alleged criminals been arrested. Ask yourself. Number 9, what should be done to eradicate corruption, promote the rule of law, and empower social justice? What should be done? If you go through the 10 questions previously and ask these questions and going through these questions and coming to a point, now what should be done? This is where we should engage our politicians. This is where our politicians should engage, but not to be. Our politicians are only activated when it comes to going to State House. Retroactive law, constitution, and anything in the constitution is not about anything else. Nothing to do with any social justice issues. Nothing to do with anything else. 50 plus 1. Because they want to be in the criminal enterprise to go into government as a coalition or be paid by Barrow or whoever gets into government. That's what is happening in Senegal right now. So many political parties just be paid. 300 political parties registered. How many goes to elections? 2, 3, or 10. The mix of things. Now, just imagine the country now. What do we do to fight corruption? Nobody talks about fighting corruption. With all the political woo meetings and everything, everybody showing that they have these big ideas, these manifestos. Everybody I can draft a manifesto in an hour. What does that say about it? What does it mean? What do you do? Where you challenge these things? How many MPs have ever sponsored a bill in Parliament? 4 years now. Why did they have private members now? Have you ever seen a private member bill? Only once. And that private members bill was a government sponsored private members bill. When that guy called something Diba went and sponsored a private members bill in order for political political so to make the cross carpet easy, put it that way, within this thing so that they don't lose their seat. That's all. Why all this is going on? We have so many parliamentarians in the opposition. One of them sponsored private members. How do we fight corruption? How effective have we ever seen a Gambian politician go out there to map out, to put it? No, it's all rhetoric. And in a way, the reason why Sonko is effective is the way he approaches. Look at the oil exploration in the Gambia. Tell me, did any politician take an ownership? Did any political party take an ownership? Because of our political party are not structured to deal with issues, are structured to follow a leadership. All of them follow a leader. That's why everything's about the leader. If you want to get an attention of any political party, go and pick on the leader. Don't talk about policy, pick on the leader. Everybody will be pounding on you. And most of the people in political party, what they do, they go and pound on someone, the opposition, another opposition party leader. Oh yeah, they don't even bother about that or the issues going on. The issues about this oil exploration, you don't see these political hacks going after it. The corruption, and you don't see political hacks going after it. That's why I say, why would I be in the politics of that? What's the point of being part of that? What why can't one why can't you dedicate a team in your political party structures to look into how important is this oil exploration? How important is it? Do we know? We all know why oil become a cost to Africa or mineral resources. Do you not delegate a team on our mineral resources to talk about whole accountability? No, they're doing everything they. What do we care? Why are they not doing that? You see, when Sonko came, with corruption and especially the oil exploration and articulated in a way that Senegalese youths can see their future. And it resonates. Sonko came from a minority, Sonko came from minority region and everything. Does it matter? No. And that's why when he became a catalyst, because of the trouble that they tried to fabricate on. He became a catalyst. And This is what is worried. The strongest, even the regions that Macky Sall have his base were moved. There's a place called Nyaube. Nyaube is in the Casamas, in the Wellingara region, district around Pase and Nyaube. Nyaube is I think Macky Sall had almost 80% of the vote. And Nyaube under Macky Sall's authority, government authority, did very well in agriculture, animal husbandry, and so on, because most of them are nomadic kind of fullers. But what happened is, with that transformation and everything, the youth, the transformation is not connected very well. The youth came out in force. It was not about Sonko, but they had a moment, and they have to show their frustration. And other regions, different regions in Dakar, it have never happened. Demonstrations have always been Dakar centric. It's always Dakar centric. If you're lucky, you have the Salum or Chess. This was literally the whole of the country recently. Getting up to it. And our politicians, that's where we fail. When we have these big issues, how to fight corruption. Yeah, no, they don't even talk about corruption to fight it. And when they talk about it, it's just a rhetoric. I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, and I mean, um, um, I said, what should be done to eradicate this corruption? Well, promote the rule of law and to empower social justice. No, nobody talk about social justice. And this is where a criminal justice system that is not centered. Crime is a social justice issue. It's not centered on that, we feel. Many research have been done. And in the United Kingdom, in Glasgow, to find out in other, and Glasgow have transformed. It was about, putting resources into the police, to recruit more police. It didn't work. They started to invest in education, started to invest, in youth development and other things, and it changed. The fortune changed, and other places in London and other places. A lot of things. There's right now a borough in London that is producing. And it's interesting, producing more Ivy League students than Eton. Eton Eton is this elite institution that most Boris Johnson and other Cameron and other prime ministers, these aristocrats and senior, this in military, this is, send their kids. But a borough in London now, because of the interventions, black and brown kids are more, getting to Ivy League. They are producing more Ivy League out of their A levels than eating. This is what transformation is. But where is the policy? Look, that's why I said to talk about this. Manifestos. This is just a corn. This show us the how do you think the government don't? Where's the national development plan? It's not. Look, it means more than that. It means more than that. And finally, and I have to go. Finally, here is I took 30 minutes more. What position will you take regarding all this youth? These youths, the police alleged to be criminals, plastering their face all over the media, even before they found them guilty in a court of law. Now, considering all this discussion we have here, the questions we ask ourselves about the youth, the environment, the things, the support system that's been there, the legislations and every other thing, criminal justice system, and we come on to take other issues. Look at, okay, contrarily, let's look at other issues, the executive and all the functions that have been done. We look at all this. Finally, ask ourselves, what should we do? What should be done by you, me, in order to see this change? It's for these youths we're talking about been plastered, their face been plastered before even being found guilty. What is wrong with innocence until proven guilty? What's wrong with that? Even after the conviction of guilt, For the crime committed, juveniles should be protected. Juveniles should be protected. We have a juvenile wing. We have this. It's just to appease or to say that we have done something. Where is it in the systems that we take things properly? No. These kids will have support. No, no. I mean, nobody thinks about that. Now they are the problems with their parents, and some of them probably don't even have parents. I mean, do we consider all this? Guys, thank you very much. It's been a long one actually. I'm late. I'll be going out for work, but we'll come back and discuss more about these things. But as I said, for people that just came join the program, if you have time to listen from the start, it's two main topics. It's about women and youths, and the women is about the women guarding in and what the Chinese and our people are doing to them. And the second one is about the three youths being alleged to have burgled a house and arrested by the police and been put all over the media. And this was the topic being discussed today. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good weekend. Juma Mubarak to all of you. Jërëjëf.